Daytime with Aston Avery. Stephen Smith joins me. Joining us right now is Agony Aunt herself, who can help us with our regular hang-ups as well, especially when it comes to age. And she's also a regular for Out News Global as well. Heidi Gammon joins us right now. Hello, Heidi.
Good morning, Aston. Good morning, Stephen. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. You're one of my favourite people. So nice to have you on the show on my birthday.
Oh, it's lovely to see you.
And I have to say, Heidi, it is a pleasure to have you on as always here, and I hope you're well. But a lot of people dread birthdays as it's a year they get older sometimes as well. But how do people get over that? How do people get over the fact that they're getting that little bit older?
Oh, Aston, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, I don't mind getting older personally. I embrace it, and I feel privileged to be getting older. But I think it's a tough one. If it's not for you, then I think it's always a good one to just get back under that duvet and take the day off. But I think it's just good to embrace it.
So you're so right there, because it is a privilege tonight to so many, and so people seem to be dropping like flies at the moment, to be quite truthful, and young people. I just think, you know, if you manage to get there, well done.
I totally agree.
Exactly. And Heidi as well, obviously you and Stephen obviously are not just you're not just a favorite of this show, but you're one of Stephen's friends as well. How did you both meet here?
Yeah, I'm so lucky to be a friend of Stephen's, because he's a very lovely friend to have. But yeah, we met through mutual friends years and years ago, Stephen, didn't we? We've been friends for a long time.
It seems like well, you know, it was quite funny. My hair had gone green by I suppose top international hairdresser, and I was so depressed about it. I nipped into Vidal Sassoon, so I thought we can't go wrong really there. And they started for me, and I met Heidi, Lady as she was called there, and we've been friends ever since. You know, it's amazing, but it goes so quickly, doesn't it, Heidi?
It sure does. It sure does. That seems like yesterday, but I know
it's not. Heidi, listen, we've got, as always, we've had people writing in with questions. You know, it's party season and birthdays for me, etc. So this is a bad party. So hello, Heidi, I love you. Oh, great. Oh. I have a birthday coming up. My friends are hosting a party. I feel so special. I'm 32 and separated from my fiancée last year. What my pals don't know is I've been seeing a man for the last 5 months. Should I bring up to the party and just say nothing, act like he's a mate, or come out and tell everyone before I bring him? And he says, as I think I'm ready to tell people who I really am. Kevin Basildon.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for writing in, and many congratulations on finding a lovely man and accepting who you are. I think that's fabulous. I think it's great now that you feel you are your authentic self. I mean, if it was me, I'd honestly probably tell everyone before the party that I'm bringing my new boyfriend, I think. And it feels like you're ready, and it feels like a good time to do it. So, I mean, yeah, I think go for it. I think you're right there. For it. Absolutely.
Because what happened is, you know, I always find the real narcissists at parties. They're the ones that when you invite them, have to know who's there. They tell you what they're going to be doing. And eventually the party becomes about them rather than about you. Right, and a real people aren't narcissists ring up, and the first thing they say is, "What can I do to help?" Now, if he does this, and don't forget, the friends have gone to a lot of work, haven't they? Putting a party on, the focus of the party is going to be just one thing.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Yeah. I mean,
you're so right. I think you should.
It feels like he's really ready, and I think that's half the battle. I think accepting it in yourself is half the battle, and I think once you've done that and then you feel ready to tell your friends and family, then I think go for it. I mean, if you want to do it before the party, okay. If you're worried about anyone's particular reaction, maybe do that one before the party, or those 3 before the party. But otherwise, I think just go for it. Say, this is my new boyfriend, you know.
Exactly. That's the factor here, obviously. And I have to say, it's a great question from Kevin in Basildon there. But Heidi, birthday parties, they can be great fun, but at the same time, that can be a nightmare for like family clashes, for instance, with so many things that could go wrong. But is there any tips and advice for listeners here on how for a smooth, drama-free birthday party, etc. here?
Oh, it's so tricky, isn't it, with family dynamics and friends? I always think it's best to have one for family and one for friends, because sometimes they don't mix so well. But I think if you do have to mix the family and friends and do one big party, I think it's always good to have a good friend on your side who can help you with the family dynamics. So I think if you do have to do that, you need that one friend that you can say, look, watch out for that aunt because she doesn't get on with that person, and just, to help move things along a little bit, and just to really help those family dynamics move along. And it's always good to have one friend also as well that's very social, that can flip between the friendship groups and introduce people, and stop like one friendship group being on one side of the room and the other one being on the other side of the room. It's good to have that one friend that can be really social and try and mix them together a little bit more.
I turned my phone off, Heidi, the night of the party, because I can't tell you everything from, my goldfish has died, this has happened, I can't find it. I mean, you just wonder how they make it through to A to B. You've given them directions, you've set the food up, you've set the drink up. Obviously there's a real emergency, but most people just ring to tell you what they're doing, and it's exhausting. Parties can be exhausting and full of drama. If you're not happy, rather than being a nice time, people sometimes make it about themselves. What I found now is I just go, no, sorry, enough. Well, let's look at another question here about nightmares. Heidi, my mother's totally controlling. Even though I'm 24, she makes everything about herself. She wants to host my 24th birthday party in her home. My fiance is flat against it. Mum says that she has a huge garden because of a marquee and everything that she wants. We've gone along with it, but Martha, my fiance, predicts, as he predicted, she gets demanding right away, even the guest list she wants to know who's coming and approve them. Mom is highly sensitive when it comes to her and takes offense. My stepdad backs her on everything. I just want to cancel, but I know she won't speak to me for months. How can I handle it?
Oh, hi, Doris. I feel for you. I really hear that you're in a tricky space with this. I just think you might have to go along with it, because it sounds like she's got it all organized in her head already. But I mean, the only thing I guess you can do is just put some boundaries in and just keep reminding her that it's actually your birthday party, not hers. And make sure that you kind of have the guests that you want there as much as possible. I think it's a really tough one if your fiance and your mum don't get on. It's really tricky, but I think you have to kind of make sure you're pleasing yourself in it, and you're not pleasing.
Yeah, that's the point. You know what? One might be an idea is obviously is good. She's agreed to it, hasn't she? I often think, sometimes maybe an idea, along the way, also for the mother, is to put, after it's over, put some boundaries down. Even if she doesn't speak for months, and say, look, enough. I'm an adult. It's not all about you. I can guarantee she'll be horrified at the idea that it was about her. And say to her, because otherwise what happens is it continues on. I think we're brought up as children sometimes to please, aren't we? And I think sometimes it's not healthy.
No, it's not healthy. I think we always worry about putting in boundaries because we feel like we're being really horrible. But when we do put in those boundaries, it's actually so good, because it makes us feel really empowered, and actually people do listen when you put in those boundaries.
Sometimes what I also find, Heidi, is that sometimes they take, especially ones that know they're wrong, take immediate offense.
Exactly.
And then they go away, and of course it's your fault. Always, you're just not thinking, you're too sensitive, which is the big one, you're this, you're that. And then when they go away and then they come back, not saying sorry, but they've taken it on board and they become a little better. So I find that several times when I have said to people, look, enough.
Yeah, and I think, Stephen, I think you're completely right. And I think it's about us doing it in the kindest way possible. Like, Mum, I love you. I'm thrilled that you're organising this party for me. But I really want you to bear in mind that it's my party and I really want to make sure I have all the guests that I want there. You know, if you want to invite a few of your friends, you're welcome. But please, can I, you know, this is my birthday party. I really want you to remember that. But I love you and I'm really happy that you're organising it for me.
I don't know whether you've been watching EastEnders, but they've got a brilliant new character in it, Elaine, played by Harriet Thorpe, who's one of my favourite actresses. And of course, she's the mother from hell.
Oh, I think is she Linda's mum? I think I saw it advertised.
Yes,
is she Linda's mum?
Linda's turned into this like, oh yes, demanding, but at the same time asking what's wrong. What she does make an entrance.
Fabulous.
So Heidi, as well, you have a birthday coming up as well.
Yeah,
Are you going to be doing anything here? I know we're talking about birthdays. Have you got anything planned for your own birthday?
Not really. It's not a big one this year yet. So no, I'm not got my. I'm gonna have a quiet one this year. I've got some lovely lunches booked with friends and just spending some time with my family. Yeah, I'm waiting for a big party for the big one, which is a few years off yet. So yeah, thanks, Aston.
Oh, you know, how can people find you, Heidi?
So you can find me at www.counselling-for-you.co.uk, or you can email me Heidi, Heidi, at counselling-for-you.co.uk. Thank you.
Oh, Heidi, it's been great, and I'm sure that your answers you gave will help these people. They're just so interesting that, you know, that there's so many dynamics that people don't talk about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But thank you for your great advice as always, and don't forget your Announce News Global. Your column's coming out, I think, this week, and we'll look forward to seeing you having on the show again in July.
Thanks so much, Stephen and
It's
Aston.
an absolute pleasure, Heidi. See you then.
Thanks.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.